rightly or wrongly, I've just bought this case 5-ton excavator. It's pretty bloody rough. I bought it sight unseen out of Melbourne, Australia. It's something I would never do normally. However, we're locked down with COVID at the moment and I needed a machine this size. There's a really old 3.5 tonner there that this is replacing. I didn't have a huge budget for this machine. It's not really a big money maker. It's just a bit of a trial. Anyway, it's here. It was under 14,000 bucks. It's definitely had more hits than Elvis. It's got worn pins, bushes. It's not tracking right at the moment. There's something going on there, or a leaf valve I'm hoping, I'm not sure. It's got a quick hitch. It came with a mud bucket that's worn out. The quick hitch, it's leaking. Needs attention. Some new hoses by the looks, or maybe just tightening. Yeah, it also came with a cool grab, which is over there. It's a nice grab, but anyway, yeah, this is it. It's a bit of a mess. My plan is to take the cab off and make it a ROPS. So I just put a roll bar and an awning on it. I think it'll look all right. Tracks are stuffed. I'll put new tracks on it, new sprockets, as soon as I can figure out why it's not driving. The final drives and the oil's clean in them, so the gears are okay. And individually it tracks really well. It's just when you try to track both of them at once, it doesn't track very well. It's got a terrible exhaust leak and all sorts of oil leaks in here. So it's all black, full of exhaust soot. This is hit and dented and bent, buggered and everything else. But look, my shadow's in the way. It's an excavator to do a job that was cheap. To buy one new like this is many thousands. I'd never afford to do that, but I think I could probably put 5 grand into this, be well ahead, and have a reasonable machine to do what I want to do with it, which is prune macadamia trees. So it's going to get bashed up by falling branches anyway. I'm going to give this thing a wash and see what I've got to play with. this machine cleaned up a bit. It's definitely rough, but I think I did all right. I'm pretty happy with it. When I got it off the truck, it wasn't driving, it wasn't walking. Oh, it was walking, but very poorly. So I was a bit concerned about that. Turns out that one of the track rollers, one of the top ones, was completely worn out, almost half through. It was stuffed. So I put a new new track roller on it from Kobelco. It turns out that this machine, the Case CX50B, is made by Kobelco. This is a new track roller there. And the walking sticks had heaps of play in them, so I put some new brackets in the bottom. They pivot on, which is kind of a silly little bracket. Such a long lever, they pivot on these little pivots, these little pins, and they were flogged out, so the littlest bit of movement in those, which you can't really see. Oh, I can't really hold the camera and demonstrate. There you go. That bit of movement, along with these worn out ball bearings, wasn't giving me full travel on my stick, so it wasn't walking very well. So, oh, and this track here was drum tight. I could have played a tune on it. It was tight as. So I've loosened it up, put a roller on, fixed up the bits and bobs, and she walks well. The other problem was the boom was working okay, but if you try to lift the machine off the ground, it'd just slump back down. We thought maybe this boom seal was in here was stuffed, but no, it's looks like it's got a new rod in it. It's been rebuilt, and the reason we say it's got a new rod in it is because we found a tiny little fleck of something chrome in a relief valve in there. That one in there, that's the boom relief just there. If you're wondering which one it is, it's that one there. So it had a tiny bit of stuff caught in it, which was causing all the problems. So a couple of hours with some spanners, and we had that problem sorted out. The problem I've got now is that there's a guard that goes on here. I've got it off at the moment because this has had a hit. The guard was pushed in and it's got a leak down there. Just there. It's a bit bent. It should be straight. You can see how it's bent. And now that's got a leak. So I've got to sort that out because it's dripping oil everywhere and using oil and whatnot. So it's no good. Straighten out the engine lid. Kind of got it to catch, latch, kind of does. It's a bit bent, a bit stuffed, but anyway, it's not too bad. Now the exhaust had a leak when I got it, and this whole engine bay was covered in black soot. Not much left now, like that. I got rid of a lot of it. Look at the oil from that leak. Anyway, I took the exhaust out, welded it up. Sounds a lot better, but the baffles are gone, so it rattles like buggery. And that actually goes all right. It's a nice little Yamaha, very tidy engine, heaps of power. The controls in this thing are really smooth and quick. The blade's pretty well stuffed. It's all come apart. Yeah, so look, I paid for it. Wasn't a great deal. I'm pretty happy with it. It's the cab's stuffed, but my plan is to get a canopy for it and turn it into ROPS, so I have a bar and get rid of that, because having a cab like that with no AC in Australia is just ridiculous. It's a good way to cook yourself. Anyway, so the king post here has a bit of play. That's something that I'll have to address. And the quick hitch is flogged out. It's like throwing a sausage down a hallway. Those pins, they're really, really loose. So heaps of play there. And the cutting edge on this bucket has been worn down past the holes, so I've got to do something with that. It also came with a grab, which is down there on the truck, a good little demo grab, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that's my Case CX50B, which is actually a Kobelco something 50 something, SR 50-3 or 55-3 or something, I think they said, which is fantastic because it's my third Kobelco excavator and I really like them. If you don't believe me, there's little telltales everywhere like that, which is a Kobelco colour, and other little telltales like, I don't know if you can see it, but produced by Kobelco. So yeah, that's it. That's my new little digger, and this is the sunset, or not the sunset, but this is the evening view from my shed, which tomorrow's job is to clean all the cobwebs off it somehow. Don't know how I'm going to do that. Anyway, that's buying a sight unseen, cheap excavator off the internet. Wouldn't recommend it, but it's turned out okay. Have a good weekend.